Hey everybody, welcome back to my shop for another flea market finds episode. This is going to be one of these odds and sods episodes that I kind of just have a few small picks that I put together. So this is going to be this pile of stuff right here that I got off of Facebook Marketplace locally. There's a local pickup. And then we'll go through some stuff I picked up. Totaling several trips throughout the weeks to the used tool store in the city. And if we have some time left, I'll show you a box of stuff I took in trade from one of my regular repeat customers. All right, so let's dive right in. So I think when I first saw this pile of stuff on Marketplace, it was the whole lot, and I think he was asking like 200 or something like that, and I didn't pay much attention to it. And then he slashed the price to $100, and so I reached out to him and we ended up cutting a deal. And I think part of the reason why he was anxious to get rid of him was because he had him up for a while and he probably didn't get a lot of traction on him. But what I had noticed was that what he's got here is a Craftsman micrometer set. It's a 4-piece micrometer set, so this is a 0 to 4 inch set. And these things look fantastic. They look mint. So they are clearly marked made in the USA, which makes sense that a US company made them for Craftsman back when these were made. I don't know what vintage these are, but I do know it's been a while since Craftsman has sold machinist tools, so it's got to have some age to it. It's got this neat little inspection certificate in here. Unfortunately, I don't think I saw anything that kind of gave away the date. So, I mean, they had to have been made by a U.S. manufacturer for Craftsman, and they don't look anything like Starrett, so maybe these are even Central Tool, which I'll get to Central Tool in a moment. But they're not carbide faced, but they're like brand new. I don't know if this set's ever been used. Let's see, the 0 to 1's probably the most common one used. Just looking for any grease or anything that indicates that this thing's been used. The locks all work. The ratchet thimbles all work. I did notice this one opening here. I'm wondering whether or not there's a 1-inch standard that goes here that's missing. I'm sure that's what goes there is the 1-inch standard, because that would make sense. And then the 3-inch standard, they're using that for calibrating both the 3 and the 4-inch. Only thing wrong with this set really is that this spring is broken on this clasp on this side. It's supposed to flip up like this. Other than that, looks pretty good. And then not only did he have these, but he had these two, also Craftsman. This one, it's got just a little bit of surface rust maybe on it or something going on here. Yeah, so you can see just a little bit of moisture got there, but they're not tight or anything. They feel fine. Yeah, even the lock still works. There's the wrench, the standard, and again the certificate. And then we've got another one here. This one is like the condition on the ones in the case. Very, very good. This one also has the standard, the wrench, and the certificate. And then he had this piece with it. Central Tool, Cranston, Rhode Island. I've come across a lot of Central Tool stuff. It's I tend to find the quality on the Central Tool stuff is more on par with automotive grade machinist tools. Not to say that you don't need precision tools when doing automotive machining, but I guess it's kind of like almost like a crossover product. You don't tend to find a lot of Central Tool stuff in a tool and die maker's toolbox, for instance. But this was interesting to me because, and since it was part of the deal, I obviously was going to take it anyways. But what we've got is an interesting bore gauge that I've never seen before from Central Tool. This style bore gauge here. So we've got almost like a back button style or back plunge style indicator in the top here. It does say jeweled, So it's got that going for it. Number 201. All right, and it does work. When we press down here, whatever's in here for a mechanism is working. I see right here that tells me that's probably a pivot point right there. So there's probably a long rod or lever. Okay. These are just spring loaded and they don't seem to do anything. This is the one that's the business end of it. And then what you've got is on the back here, this is your contact point, but you can unscrew this cap and then screw on any one of these 5 extensions that come with it, okay, for different size bores. So that's actually kind of a nice little a bore set. This would be good for checking. This would be good for checking roundness of cylinders on engines. All right. So next up, we're going to hit the used tool store buys. Here's another one of these Vargas deburring tools type with the extension. A couple extra cutters in the handle there. Hit $4 on this. I have so many of these, I don't even know why I bought this. Probably, excuse me, I bet you probably I had like already purchased some other stuff, put together some stuff and just wanted to round it up to an even amount. I don't know. But anyways, $4 is okay for that. He has a junk table in the middle that every week it's a different price, but everything on the table is that price for that day. And I don't remember exactly what it was that day. I want to say maybe things were $2 or $3 a piece, or it had to be pretty cheap actually now that I think of it, because I bought these at the same time. May have even been as low as $1 a piece. So these are 6-inch metal grinding wheels, made in the USA, Bullard abrasives. 2 of those for the larger grinders. A gold for grinding stainless metal. Beats the heck out of me who makes this one. Carborundum Abrasives Company. And this one right here is an Alpha Green stainless steel cutoff wheel. The Rex Cut Products Incorporated. Made in Germany. And last but not least, a SAIT, or SAIT, S-A-I-T, general purpose for all ferrous metals. It's a standard 4.5 inch. This is from the United Abrasives Incorporated, made in the USA. So all good quality, no cheapos there. You had this little 0 to 1/2 inch micrometer. These, I get these off and on. I've talked about these in the past. These often are badged by the company that ordered them so that they could either have something to give away with their name on it or for whatever reason. So in other words, this one here is the Reese Chemical Company, and guarantee you they had absolutely nothing to do with Reese Tool, and they just decided that they wanted some micrometers with their name on them. And this one was also dated, which is kind of interesting because it's dated, well, I think it's dated. It says JU.8-0606. So no, that's not a date. I thought that might have been like July 8th, something. So that I don't know what the deal is there. Anyways, some guys collect these. They try and get as many of these with different names on them as they can. Starrett actually makes one that was actually a good quality micrometer that you can use for making, measurements in really small places. But the rest of the ones that I've seen, they've always been more this kind of not as high quality and always badged with these non-tool maker names. Then I went into, he has bins there with cutters and taps and drills and whatever. And I was fishing through one of his boxes there, and I noticed that I kept coming across some of these tool blanks that were brand new, unused. And then I realized there might be enough in here to put together a pile. So I asked him if he'd work with me and give me a little bit of a price break. I think these were $2 or $3 each. And I think we ended up settling on 2 for $5. So I think I'm into these for $2.50 each. So, like these, some of these say Rex alloy. Here's a Haynes Stellite. Here's a Tatung. Another Rex alloy. But you can see these are all good bits. So these could be reground to whatever profile you want for your lathe. Or you can also use these in fly cutters. This is called a boke bit. Not a broke bit. A boke bit. I boke it. Jessup. Never heard of that one. One boke bit. Alright, you get the deal. Oh, and there's also, you guys know what these are? So this is marked P&W Company of Hartford, Connecticut. I believe manufactured Connecticut, USA or something like that. But anyways, patented April something 19, which would be 1919 more than likely. But this has got some grind. Somebody ground a relief on this one for something. But that right there, this right here, this edge is a 60-degree angle. This is for threading. And this is made so it goes in a holder, and what you did was, as it needed to be, as it wore down, you could actually regrind it and then just raise it up. So it actually sat in a little holder that kind of this groove had a part that rode right in it, right? Well, I have one of these, so I was like, oh, great. I thought I would never see this type of tool steel again. But I'll keep those for myself. This wrench was on the junk table for a couple bucks, and normally I don't buy any more wrenches like this because I have so many, but I couldn't pass this up because it's an actual proto, which is a good wrench. Here's a wedge or drift for removing Morse tapers. $2. It's a name brand one, so this is a Morse taper drill, MTD and M Company. Morse taper drill and M Company. Well, anyways. Here's a thickness gauge. It's an early one. You can tell because it's got an Ames indicator on it. It works perfectly fine. You had $15 on that. This is a nice little anvil. Last one of these I had, I didn't get much money for. I probably got, like, if I was lucky, I either broke even or made $5 on it. This one I might do a little bit better on it. I paid $15 for it, but it's actually a clearly marked one. It's a 219 Littleton. I think it's Littleton or Littletown. I forget which. Pretty sure it's the Vice manufacturer out of Pennsylvania made this. Then this was a nice score. This is a tap wrench. He had $8 on it. If you look at it, it looks like a Starrett, and there's no markings anywhere on it in this area, which is where you usually see them. And the reason why is because it's right here. So this is an early Starrett 93 tap wrench. I think it was the 93 series that they call these. So hopefully that's focusing there, but you can just make out the LSS company. And yeah, it does have the number on there. 91B, my mistake, not the 93. The 93 is the T-handle one. This is the 91, and this is the B size. That's a great buy for $8. And then he had this little guy right here for $7. This is also a Starrett. And this one's more clearly marked up here. So this one I don't think is the 91 series, because they had that's the B. The next size down from that was A, and then this is even smaller than that. So I think this has its own number, and I would have to look it up because, yeah, on this one it's early enough that they didn't bother putting the number right on it. But that's a genuine cutie Starrett tap wrench. This, I don't even remember what this is. Oh, yeah. This is a hole attachment. Not hole, it's $5. Indicator attachment. You take a drop indicator like this Ames, for instance, would mount right on. This would mount right on this part of the indicator. And what this does now is this changes the direction of the indicator so that you can use this. You can use a drop indicator to indicate something you normally would not maybe be at the right angle for. And this came with, in the box, I've never seen this before. I don't know if they all came with this or not, but it came with another one of these so you could change this out. So what this did for you is this lets you almost reverse direction altogether, which is kind of funky, right? But I like that it's a handy little thing to have, and I just like that it's got the original box, which is kind of nice. These little clamp-on vices, I buy them when I can buy them cheap. $7.50 is cheap enough. Okay, no maker I don't think on this one that I could see. That's okay. Here's a nice little Triumph Twist Drill Company of Crystal Lake, Illinois drill index, $1.50. So I just bought that just because it's a good old USA drill index, and it actually still has 4 drill bits in it, but we can fill that out. And it's got a nice little general tap information chart here. Here's one of these little pocket chums. This is the, this says Burndy Wire Mic Company. So again, this was not, the Burndy Wire Mic of Norwalk, Connecticut was not the manufacturer of this caliper. They just had them made with their name on them. This more than likely is like a pocket chum. This is copyright 1952 by the Burndy Engineering Company. Well, maybe they did make it. Either that or they're just copywriting their name being stenciled on this thing. Because this says made in the USA. Oh, this has wire gauges on it, which makes it a little bit different. So, no, I stand corrected. I believe that they did actually make this tool, because it says it's the Burndy Wire Mic. So they're calling this like a micrometer for wire. It's really a caliper, but, you know. Yeah, $2 on this. Got some of my customers, they collect these little small calipers, these pocket executive or pocket chum type style ones like this. And then he had not one, but 2 for $10 a piece. These unusual micrometers. They're both Starretts, and I believe these are brake caliper micrometers, but I'm not positive. So it's a Starrett 225.
Oh, ever get tired of being wrong, Steve? Well, no, not really. Go to the Starrett Bible here, and this is a wire micrometer.
So, interesting. Wondering whether or not he cleaned out a estate of a guy who worked at a wire company, because that caliper we were just looking at, right? Wire gauge, 2 wire micrometers. All right, now, these type of items, when he has them, he tends to be closer to eBay prices. But this one I decided to splurge on, $55. This is a Starrett 120 dial caliper. But this is one of the earlier models, and these were really nicely made. These, in my opinion, are one of the nicest 6-inch dial calipers that were ever made. And I qualify that by saying that these can't the newest models of these, or the newer models of these, in my opinion, they can't hold a candle to these earlier ones. And what I liked about this one, besides the fact that it's working perfectly fine, is not only does it have the case, which, you know, that's not that uncommon, but what is a little uncommon is it actually has this accessory, which all of these cases have this spot for this accessory to live in, but oftentimes this is not there. And it's not because it's missing, it's because you had to order this separately. Or I think, see, this is the 120D attachment. I think you could order the set with a specific part numbers that would ensure that you got that, or you could order the caliper by itself. This wouldn't be there, and then you could order this later. But that's kind of a nice, sweet, all together like that. Not going to make a ton of money because I paid $55 for it, but I'll do okay. Heck, if I can't get enough for it, I'll keep it and I'll just sell one of mine. Although, if you guys are wondering, what's my keeper? It's an Etalon. But it's a particular one that was made by some guy. It's like Pierre something or whatever. It's like, you know, the thing is made like a fine Swiss watch. The thing is beautiful. All right, that sounded weird to wax nostalgic about a dial caliper. And other things that I have too many of, but it was an okay deal. $25. This is the Starrett 657 magnetic push button on off base, but you can get this with different fittings on top. This is the more expensive version of this one because it has the fine adjust here built into it. And this is not rust that you're looking at here. This is still covered with the waxy coating that they put on here as an anti-corrosive agent. It didn't do such a great job keeping that from corroding, but I don't think this has ever been used. And it's the original box, 657A. This is a Fowler digital micrometer. He had $20 on it, and I don't really care for digital micrometers, but if it works for $20, it's worth it. And he's pretty good about, you know, it's typically what the problem is the battery's dead. And I've had situations in the past where, you know, put the battery in and find out that, oh, it still doesn't work. He's pretty good about returns as long as you bring it back fairly quickly. And then it also has this little attachment here that you can slip over the anvil, and that gives you a convex tip to work with. So I'll have to snag a battery and test that, but I'm not too worried about it. And last but not least is this little honey right here. Got this for $5. I am still not sure what the story is with this thing. So I picked this thing up off his shelf there of doodads, and I was like, okay, well, whoa, this is interesting to me because it looks like a pin vise. You know, it's a spitting image of a Starrett pin vise, right? But it's got a couple of weird things going on here. It's got this barrel part right here that freely spins, almost suggesting that this was made to be able to do this. If that isn't odd enough, on the back here of this long rod, it comes to a point, almost suggesting it's like supposed to be like a center that could sit in a countersink. And it's got this triangular shaped flange. So this actually says right up here, Howard Brothers. B-R-O-S, period. Howard Brothers. So does anybody know what that was for? If you do, please leave it in the comments. Alright, I guess I'm going to call this one a wrap right here, and we'll leave that other box of stuff for next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and sharing the video too. Take care.